What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp. Today we're going to be reviewing the newly released Fractal Define C Mid ATX case. Had my hands on this for a few weeks now. I just did a black and white gaming PC build yesterday, so check that out if you haven't already. And altogether, I am loving what Fractal is doing here. They've made some solid improvements overall, but it's still sticking true to that kind of, patented Fractal look that we've seen from many cases in the past. It's very minimalistic as well, and it's pretty affordable. It comes in at $85 here for this windowed case, and without the window it's only $80, so definitely appealing there. A lot of consumers are going to find that a very solid price point. But there's a lot of good stuff going on. We're going to check it out now. First off, this mid ATX case is perfectly sized, I think, and hits a sweet spot when it comes to appearance. This is the bigger brother to the new Define Mini C as well, but it still does a great job of keeping a toned down form factor. There are a lot of great features here, all for a nice $85 price tag. If you're familiar with the Swedish Fractal cases, you'll notice a very familiar look, which gives them all a uniform design, but we do have some changes this time around that previous cases didn't have. Personally, I'll always buy a case with a side panel window because I like to build for a nice aesthetics as well, and the window on this definitely allows for that. While it's not glass, I'll settle for the acrylic as it's really not a big deal. Taking a closer look, all downside the front of the case is ventilation for great airflow. This is one area where the case really stands out. If you take off that front panel, we do have a removable dust filter that has a plastic structure and is easily removable for access to mounting fans and front radiators. It then snaps right back into place with the cutouts when you're done for a quick cleaning and you're good to go. Underneath the case is another removable dust filter like we've seen before. It slides under and fits nicely into the grooves on the feet of the case, and then when it's back in, it sits flush with the front panel. Then on top now, more room for airflow and modification. If you're using a water cooler, you can use the magnetic dust filter or stick with the stock Modu vent if the filter isn't needed. Either way, you have the option, and I like how the magnetic filter fits in seamlessly and is integrated on the top of the case, and the regular Modu vent will also give you improved sound dampening, which is always nice. Now going inside the case, as you can see, it is nice and open for when you're building, and it isn't cramped at all. The case supports a 335mm graphics card if the fan isn't in the way, but if a cooler or a fan is there, there's still room for a 315mm GPU. There's mounting spots for all motherboards, and the design really gives enough room for modification. There's mounting spots for all motherboards, and this design gives room for modification. We have an included 120mm exhaust fan on the back and in the front, but the way that the mounting slots are made, it's so you can slide them up and down to compensate for certain mounting orientations or for fitting your hardware. On the bottom, we have a power supply shroud, plus a removable shroud plate so you can move the hardware bays underneath or fit a larger front-mounted radiator. This is cool because, like I said, it really gives you the freedom to use the hardware you want despite the size of the case. Now for rad and fan support, on top you can mount two 120mm fans or two 140 fans, and in the front is room for three 120s or two 140s. For radiators, in the front is room for a 360 with the shroud plate removed, or a 280, 240, 140, or 120mm radiator. Then on top can fit a 240 and a 120 as well. Lots of numbers. The side panels do have captive screws, which is awesome. This means they won't fall out, and I wish every case had this because I'm constantly losing one, or I'll mix screws with other screws, so big thumbs up on that. And speaking of the panels, the back, front, and that top Modu vent all have this industrial sound dampening material. This is awesome as it's going to keep the noise from your PC down to a minimum, and depending on your components, your build can be completely silent, and if you ask me, there is nothing better than a quiet PC. Then on the back of the case, there's lots of room for cable management. We have rubber grommets for routing your cables or for water cooling, and the case also has these little loops built in throughout for zip tying our cables to keep them locked down and organized so the back panel can easily close. Then off to the left is a little indented area where the bulk of your cables will stay, plus Fractal's own Velcro straps for improved cable management. I must say this is probably the easiest cable management job I've done with a build. Everything was tidy, and there was enough clearance so the panel could close with zero interference with the sound dampening material. And if you take a look at the motherboard AIO mounting bracket on the back, they have an SSD plate which covers that. This is just a great example of taking advantage of all the space inside, and you can now mount up to 3 SSDs there. I've never seen a case do this before, and I love the new integration. It easily pops into place and a little thumb screw secures it in, and again, zero interference with that back panel, and you still have room on the bottom of the case for the other hard drives. And I forgot to mention, the front I/O features 2 USB 3.0 slots, a mic and headphone jack, and a blue LED below the power button. All together with my white and black PC build, this case was the perfect pick for it, and it still supports my 1080 Hall of Fame card from Galax, which is massive. By using that sliding mounted option for the fans, I was able to fit in my card and still have room up top for fans and the radiator. I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I'm a huge fan of this case. For $85, the Define C is awesome. A few of my favorite things are the flattering side panel for showing off your build. You gotta have this on your desk as well. For me, the brushed aluminum appearance with the plastic front panel is very tasteful and minimal, so it's not gonna attract fingerprints or anything. The included sound dampening foam on the panels is a huge plus for keeping your PC very quiet, and I love that SSD mounting plate on the back frame of the chassis. Major props for having that. Honestly, everything here at Fractal's Define C just really impressed me and is a great option for that price. Alright guys, that'll do it for my review of the Fractal Define C mid ATX case. Hope you enjoyed. I'll put the links in the description down below in case you want to check this out, as well as the video yesterday featuring this case with the entire sick black and white gaming PC I built. You're not going to want to miss that. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Well, I'm randomfrankp. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.